right, welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my look ahead to New Comic Book Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. This is my rundown of all the books that I'm personally keeping an eye on this upcoming week based off of some covers that I like, some cool homage covers, later printings, some incentives, things that are selling at a premium already, some things I'm hearing about as far as buzz books go, etc. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And yeah, I guess before we get into this week's list of books, there's one more thing I need to do before we get there. And that is to, unfortunately, put my boys to bed for the rest of the season as they've now been officially eliminated from the playoffs, and make that switch as we have to do, it seems like, every end of the season these days, which is now throw the support towards the local team in my area, who I also do like, the Philadelphia Eagles. I know I've explained my dual fandom before. I'm a Jets fan first, but I can admit they are done for the year. We'll see what Rodgers can do next year, but for now, go Birds. And with that said, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back with this week's books. Okay, so let's start off this week as we do every week with the buzz books. These are the books I'm hearing a little bit of buzz on going into New Comic Book Wednesday and hearing people talk about them and look forward to and get excited over the fact that we may be getting something, maybe some first appearances. I don't know. It is another Star Wars Revelations book. This isn't the first time they use that subtitle, but Star Wars Revelations 1 looks like we're going to get an anthology book. We got a little bit of Thrawn. We got a little bit of other characters that we are all fans of and familiar with. And with that, we'll see what actually is inside the guts of this book when it drops this Wednesday. But we are getting this cover A. There is a B cover as well, as along with a 1 in 25 that's zooming in on Jabba's face, as well as a 1 in 100, as Marvel has been prone to do in these last few months. Give us a virgin version of one of the covers and just make it a 1 in 100 incentive. Nothing new, par for the course these days. But with that, it is selling for a tiny premium, $150 so far. I mean, shouldn't say tiny, but 150, one pre-sale. That was a couple of weeks ago now. That was November 13th. I don't have anything more recent than that to report. But asking prices, well, could be as low as 125 or as high as 300, or maybe you get a lot of the A, B, 1 in 25, and the 1 in 100, all for the low price of $210. I don't know. We'll see how this one does. And as I said, I know people have been looking forward to this book, expecting first appearances, etc. And you're getting Thrawn on the cover here in the main universe, which is also kind of nice. And we know we're getting a Thrawn series coming soon as well. That Thrawn Alliances book will be on our way before we know it. But with that, let's move on to another book that has had a lot of talk about it the last month or two, and that is Deviant. #1 came out, bunch of covers, a lot of cool stuff there. Kind of faded, but we'll see if that momentum picks back up now that we have the release of issue 2 and this story continues. I'm kind of curious. I did enjoy the story for issue 1, and I'm looking forward to see where it's going to go. So issue 2 is coming out this week with an A cover. There is a B cover, 1 in 10, as well as a 1 in 25 that you should pay attention to, I guess. Not selling for any premiums to really report on just yet, but you never know what will happen as the week goes on. And we'll be getting into the second print a little bit later because they are re-releasing issue 1 in a second print in case you missed it. With that said, we are getting a new Bad Idea book this week. And this one, kind of interesting. This was one of the ones I believe they sneak previewed it along with that other one with the little tiny books. I think you could find like the golden eggs and maybe get a little tiny preview of this and other previews as well. But this particular one, it'll be from what I gather, a $10 cover, and there has been a pre-sale. I would take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. One pre-sale for $45, and there is one seller who has multiple copies listed for $45. I don't know why this is a $45 book or a $45 ask, considering it's coming out. And from what I can see, you can get this at most online retailers, as well as at your shop if your shop is supporter and seller of bad ID books. So yeah, I don't know. Something to keep an eye on. I'm curious. I am curious what Bad Idea is doing because say what you want about their crazy marketing approach, the books are interesting. The art is fantastic and very detailed and kind of eye-catching. So, with that said, that's part of why I want to read comics is for the art and for the stories. And I don't really care about all the other nonsense half the time. So, I just want to see what's inside this book. So, I'm going to go and grab one for myself. You all do what you like. That said, another interesting little tidbit coming out this week is we are getting the second issue of this Blit map. I forget which one of you viewers out there threw this out to me as a suggestion previously because I actually missed the issue one. So here, this is issue two. Again, as you can tell, or if you can't tell, this is a blind bag book, just like issue one was a blind bag book. I still have my blind bags here. I don't think I've actually opened them all, but I got a couple because these are like unique cover variants inside these blind bags. So it's like interesting. It's an interesting approach. You don't know what you're going to get. There's like variations on three different covers. Just to put into perspective, last time this came out, again, these cost regular cover price about like $5 for the blind bag, and inside you get different versions of basically like three predominant kind of like variations, and then the variants among variants. Just to give you a sense, bag copies are still selling for issue one a little lower than they were. These were like 15-20 bucks like early on. Now they're down to about like 8-10 bucks a piece for these blind bags for issue one. Don't know if you're gonna get the same kind of heat on issue two or not, but it's worth paying attention to. There are still some listed copies for issue one in that $10 to $15 kind of range in case you missed out. But from what I get, again, inside, just to kind of give you an example for issue one, here's what we're talking about. Like you get different variations of different covers for these books where it might just be slight color variations, like tweaks to the art, multiple covers across the board here, and a multitude of possibilities. So we'll see what issue two has to offer. I don't know. Kind of curious. It is an interesting approach. I might see about getting myself a couple copy or a couple bags of issue two just to open them up as well. And if I do have extras lying around, maybe we'll do like a quick little giveaway so you guys can taste test and see how you like it as well. That said, that's that Blit map book with issue two coming out this week. Once again, most of the pictures I've shown are for issue one because that's all that's kind of out there in the on the interwebs. But issue two will be dropping this week, and we'll see some more variations and interesting covers to come. Which takes us to our reading list. As I said, I do like to read books, and these are the books that will probably be at the top of my reading pile for this week. Starting off with Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I'm enjoying this series. I mean, this is issue three only, but I'm having fun reading this. It's a interesting premise. It's just I can get right into it, and I'm enjoying it. So let's see where it goes. Multiple covers here. This is the cover A. There's a pretty cool John Boy on the cover B that I do think I want to make sure I get a copy of that one. Cover C is a Diodato. It's not too bad either. And then there is a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50 incentive variant as well. 1 in 25 is not really doing too much right now, but the 1 in 50, well, time will tell. But for now, copies have sold for just over ratio at about 60 bucks, and there was one outlier sale a little over 100. Asking prices on this 1 in 50 are still out there in that copies available for $60, $70, and the occasional ask for about 100 bucks. We'll see what happens as this hits on Tuesday. It's a DC book after all with lunar schedule. They'll release on Tuesday, but it's just one to keep an eye on and keep watch on to see if this incentive holds or if this one just kind of comes back down, as I would expect to ratio and below. I kind of figure this one would be more of a $40 1 in 50, but we'll see. You never know. With that, another book I want to read. As you guys know me, you know I love the 80s, and you know I love my G.I. Joe. So, with all my G.I. Joe classified figures back behind my head, you can bet that I'm going to be checking out issue 302 coming out this week. There is a cover A, and then there's a black and white version of it, and there is only a 1 in 10 incentive to follow that. Pretty cool stalker cover here with Cobra Commander in the background. Kind of dig it. And it's not too terribly expensive for being a 1 in 10, but early pre-sales are a bit above ratio. $12, $15, $20. Asking prices kind of in that $15 to $20 range. I'm sure there's still plenty of places you can find this right around that ratio mark at about $10 or so, maybe even less, depending on how your shop prices their incentives. So if you're interested, this is your variant for 302. And like I said, it's a decent one. Kind of like it. Of course, I was always a fan of Stalker early on. Some of the Green Beret. It's kind of cool. Moving on, I do want to check out issue 2 here of Canary. You got Snyder and you got Dan Panosian. Big fan of Dan Panosian. Big fan of his art. I kind of want him to write a little bit more, but we'll take this little team up here with Snyder. And Canary number 2 coming out of Dark Horse. There is a foil version of that cover A that will be available as well for those who like shiny covers. And there is a 1 in 10 that can also be found for under ratio as well for like, $7-8, even online places. So if you're into it, there you go. So Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian's Canary, issue 2 for this week. I've also been singing the praises of Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk run. I've been digging it, and we keep it rolling. Issue 7 here coming out. So I'm not going to show you all the covers on this one because there are a couple of crappy ones. We might dip back in a little bit later. But this is the cover A. It's not too bad. And then there is a 1 in 25 that'll be out there as well. Yeah, kind of cool. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't know. The long hair is kind of taking some getting used to. It's almost like long-haired soups from the 90s. But early returns on this 1 in 25 are right around that ratio mark. As you can see, sales for $15 to $25, asking prices hovering in that $20-$25 range with plenty of copies available. But then there's those outliers going as high as 50. Once the copies all clear out, that's when we have a better sense of where this one kind of settles in, which will most likely, again, be right around that ratio mark. But just want to keep an eye on it and see what happens as the week goes on. Now, those are some things I definitely want to read. It's part of my reading pile, but there will also be some new stuff that I want to check out too for the first time. Some new number ones to keep an eye on. I am also a big X fan, so I'm probably going to have to check out this original X-Men number 1 shot. I don't know exactly what's inside of all this, but we're getting a new book this week, and I'll probably be picking one up. Couple of covers here. Cover A, then there is a cover B, and then there is the anniversary. Well, not anniversary. There's the homage to X-Men 1. I was going to put it in the homage section, but it felt like a waste to do so because, you guys know that one already. I mean, it's X-Men 1 after all. It's nothing new. It's not terribly exciting. But with that said, I think I forgot to put together the regular homage section for this week. Now that I'm sitting here to record, I might have forgot that segment, which only had a handful of books. Maybe we'll take a look at that later. I'll edit it in at some point. But we do have a 1 in 25, and you might have guessed it, a Marvel Virgin 1 in 100, which is the cover A in this case. But a 1 in 100 variant, which, here we go. Similar kind of story. Early sales, well under. $65 and about $90. So under ratio on those early actual pre-sales. Whereas the asking prices, a bit heftier on the asks here. $280, $230. Oof. Don't know if they're going to get that price. They might just be fishing, but we'll see if they get this price met or if more copies come to market and they're closer in that $65 to $80 kind of range. Time will tell. Another interesting book coming out. I think we've talked about this one somewhere along the line, but Rom and the X-Men, reprinting all those classic Rom stories. I think I covered it in Dollar Bin Digging. I think that's what it was. And when this got announced that it was coming, that you can go get these, the actual early editions of these, those Rom issues, which are being reprinted here in this Marvel Tales book. But Marvel Tales, Rom and the X-Men is coming out. These are typically like $8 covers, thicker, almost prestige format. So a nice quality reprint if you're into that. And you also come with a Virgin 1 in 50 variant half the time. Well, most of the time, I should say. And it's not missed this time either. So you can expect to see one here. No pre-sales yet on that 1 in 50, but asking prices for this bad boy, $126, $170, $185. So steep ask for the 1 in 50, but none actually moving as of yet. But something to keep an eye on. Dark Horse is giving us this Borealis series. I'm assuming something will be up north. Aurora Borealis seems to be some sort of mystery. That might be worth checking out if you're interested. Curse the Darkness, Borealis. One shot number 1 coming out of Image for this issue Shift. two covers here. We have this cover A as well as a Virgin cover B. Something to keep an eye on. Life is Strange is coming back with another series. I don't know if you guys remember this, based off of that. It's sort of like a Telltale type game. Video game, and then the covers on these, they had those tattoo variants, which got a little bit of heat for a little bit, but we're getting another series of Life is Strange, Forget Me Not. Pretty cool Tula cover here. Other variants as well. Not incentives, just other covers that you can go and purchase the one that you like. There's also an FOC reveal Virgin version of that Tula Lote, along with another cover here, if you're so inclined. Yeah, something worth maybe checking out. We do have later prints to get into. So we got some later printings. Not many this week, not like last week with all those Marvel 1 in 25 incentives for basically every issue they can think of. This week it's a little slimmer, but we can see some more familiar things, like another facsimile for Batman Year One. Now we have Part 3 coming out. No other additions, no foils, no blanks, just issue 406 to follow up on the last two, 404 and 405. I mentioned it before, Deviant #1 is getting that second print along with the release of issue 2. So if you missed out on issue 1, you can go ahead and grab the second print to go along with your issue 2 and catch up on the story. That's only 2 issues in at this point. G.I. Joe is also giving us an option for 301. If you missed out on that somehow, you can get your second print for issue 301 and pick up issue 302 while you're at it, once again, to catch up on the story. Not coming out with the subsequent release, but we are getting another pile of variants for second print Transformers. I'm not getting too happy with these. They're making way too many cover variants for later prints for the same damn book. So, not quite as bad as last week's Void Rivals that had, like 5 or 6 different versions of the same second print variant. Here we have Transformers issue 2, second print, get a Duke cover. Okay, fine. Nothing wrong with that. But do we really need a Decepticon Soundwave as well as a Cliff Jumper for the Autobot side? Like, we don't need 3. Do we really need 3 different covers for second print? Come on now. With all the covers you're giving us on the first print, there's still probably covers available. There's probably not even a need for the second print, but here we are. Here we are with it. So it is what it is. I'm tempted to get all of them, but I got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, these are second prints. After I got all the covers on the first print, I'm going to have to go and get 3 more. It's another $12 to try to get out of my pocket just to get more copies of the same book with different covers. Getting frustrating. And getting to be tough to keep up. It is. This hobby is getting expensive. I'm sure. Well, that's not a fair statement. It's been expensive, but man, they're really pushing the envelope these days. I'll tell you what. I don't know how many people are still excited to see Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm kind of curious, but I'm not 100% going to see it in the theater. It'll be a matter of if I have time, honestly. But looks like it's not terrible. Could be good. Not getting a great push. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So hopefully it does better than Blue Beetle, but ultimately I don't think it matters because it's kind of the end of that era, unceremoniously just stopping before we get rebooted and James Gunn gives us something new. But with all that said, they are doing these covers on the DC side of things to kind of help promote the upcoming release of the movie. Pretty cool Perillo here with Aquaman and Manta on what is this, on Catwoman issue 60. Again, these are on not all, but on all different types of DC books to kind of promote Aquaman. It's not just Aquaman books. This is Catwoman 60. So completely unrelated Catwoman cover. We'll get to those other Catwoman issue 60 covers later, but here's the Aquaman version of it. Same thing here with Superman issue 9. Pretty cool. Diodato doing Black Manta. I like this one. But again, totally unrelated to whatever's going on in Superman issue 9. As is Nightwing. Nightwing 109 is also giving us, I think it's the Jay Lee version of Aquaman, which again, not a bad cover. It's just a cover, just to help to promote the movie. But with that all said, now let's move on to one of our fun segments, and that is
WTF, Gary. WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh,
that's right. WTF. What's going on here? And still kind of dominating this segment and this section this past month are more of these Peach Momoko Nightmare covers. Again, this is not meant to run down any particular artist or anything like that. It's just, I got to call it as I see it. And while she has done some good covers, some great covers, even, a lot of these ones, oh, not for me. Just not for me. I mean, the face has a little bit of a quality to it that's kind of gives you that kind of horror manga kind of vibe that it's something that you would see like in an anime, but then just the empty red background and there's the cartoony hand, it just takes away from it. So any nightmare aspect that you might be able to get in that eyeball and that face is just kind of undercut by just the lameness of the rest. For me, that's all. It's again, these just aren't for me. I don't know why they're nightmares, but whatever. I mean, especially this one. Like, what's so nightmarish about this Spider-Man? It just looks like a watercolor Spider-Man done in with butter, like a butterfly tattoo or moth tattoo. I don't know. Like, okay, might be kind of pretty. It's not really for me, but okay. I don't know why it's nightmarish. Nor is this Doctor Strange. It's just all right. There's a bunch of eyes. Ooh, I don't know. It's not particularly bad or good. It's just meh. But so why? Why are we doing this? That's why it's in the WTF section. It's like, why are we doing this? Who thought this was a good idea? And then we've got this. We've got Wolverine just throwing up tubes. So he's getting his stomach pumped, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I get what they're going for, but it's just nah, not for me. And realistically, and this is Wolverine 40, this is even the worst Wolverine 40 cover. Not in my opinion, at least, because man, somebody else just mailing it in. John Cassidy on this one. Oof, not looking great there. I don't know. Everybody just looks so like stumpy and just half sketched. It's just I don't know. I'm just not digging this. This is not the it's not the same. It's not the same as the Astonishing X-Men from way back, 20 years ago. I get it. It was 20 years ago, but man, this is just looking rough to me. So like I said, I gotta call it as I see it. And this is not great, in my opinion. Now, I know I'm probably gonna catch heat for saying this because I did it last week too. You're gonna go, wow, but this cover's awesome. And it is. This is a great cover on the book that it was originally on. Reusing that awesome cover just so you can resell me a book of covers is kind of ridiculous. Said this about Birds of Prey last week, as there are only 3 or 4 issues in, and they're already giving us a book of covers. Now we have Joker and Harley uncovered, just giving us a $6 book of covers. Like, why do I need? It's like poster book. They used to sell poster books. Can't we get back to that? They're trying to flim flam you and confuse you and make you go buy a comic book, think you're gonna get a comic, and all you're getting is a poster book inside of other covers. Granted, and they're gonna do so by trying to sell you multiple covers on this too, as they're going to give you a B cover as well as C cover here, so different covers on a poster book full of covers, as well as a shiny foil because everybody's got to have their shiny foil, as well as incentive variants on a cover. It's a cover book. It's just a book of covers. Why do we need incentives on this? But a 1 to 25 and a 1 to 50, both of which are selling below ratio. So don't go crazy buying any of these. I mean, get it if you like it. You like this kind of thing. But man, talk about just really milking a dollar out of people. Like, just, I don't know. It's not a fan. And lastly, Wonder Woman 4. We're going to get into some of the Wonder Woman 4 covers later, but I have a problem with DC. It's not because they're just doing Marvel's idea. Hey, we'll just resell them all a virgin version and people will buy it and be excited. On the 1 in 50, we're getting a virgin version of this book. But you see this book, a lot going on here. You got Dawn of DC at the time. You got trade dress, all of that. And then their big idea for the 1 in 50 to try to make sure you want to go and get this incentive variant and go and qualify and go and order it and pay a premium for this thing is not to give you new art, but to give you a virgin version of this, which the top third is completely blank. And it's blank because it needs a trade dress. That's why it's blank, for trade dress, not to be resold like this. This is terrible. Not only that, as you can see, nobody's bought one. What are these people fishing? $130, $145 for this? Who's going to pay $145 for this half-finished cover? I mean, I'm sure somebody probably will out there, but come on now. We could do better than this, can't we? The whole top third's blank white. Give me make it look like the building. Just give me some sort of texture. They could have finished it and put something up there. I feel like the artist wasn't consulted when they came up with the idea of, hey, give us your cover to issue 4, and then we're gonna make the incentive a virgin version of it. Oh, really? I didn't finish it though. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're just gonna do it anyway. Ugh. Speaking of covers, here's some covers I do like. And again, sticking with this Wonder Woman issue 4, because we do have a couple that I do like. I do like this, I think it's Tedesco here on this issue 4. And then we've got a pretty cool, it's almost like a mosaic piece, graph paper with another, like a B cover. And then there's a solid 1 in 25 there as well. Not selling for a premium or anything like that. Just something interesting and decent covers, I think, for Wonder Woman issue 4. I mentioned Catwoman 60 earlier. We've got this DNA. So I got Nakayama doing a pretty cool flamingo cover here where he's kind of, it's not quite negative space, but it is his like a color bleed. I forget what how he the moniker he gave to his covers that kind of do that, but kind of dig it here. And I really do dig this B cover. It looks like an old pulp kind of like novel. So I really dig that Selena Kyle mystery there. And then there is also another variant for cover price as well, along with a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50 incentive, which is just a sketch black and white version of that other variant cover. And if you might have noticed, there wasn't much of a difference because there's not much color there to begin with. So just get the B cover. Why spend up to get the 1 in 50? Doesn't make sense to me. But whatever, it's your money. Do what you like. Speaking of covers I kind of like, well, the cover A here is not too bad on Wolverine number 40. The reason why I put this in here is just to kind of preface that there is an incentive, and it is a 1 in 25 Art Adams, which we've seen a lot of these lately. This time, it's Wolverine. Not too bad. I like Art Adams doing Wolverine. And here we go. So issue 40's got that. It's right around ratio at 25 to like $35. There's also some that might sell for a little bit under $18. Asking prices, however, are kind of in that $30 to $50 range. So we'll see where this one kind of shakes out as the week goes on, but could still be available in that ratio mark. Sometimes they get higher. Not all of the Art Adams books have gone at a premium, but many have. We'll see if this one follows suit. And I also know you guys are probably aware of, I think 2 issues from now, there's the next 23 one that he's doing for this series. I think on issue 42. Yes, she has a bit of a broad face, but I still kind of like it. But that's like an FOC look ahead type deal. So if you want to look into it now, go ahead. But for now, this week we are getting issue 40 Wolverine. And then randomly, just for covers, there's a Raza on a Star Trek. I didn't know Raza was doing Star Trek covers, but this is a kind of a cool one. I like the perspective from inside this creature's mouth coming down on this little alien. Not bad. So not a big Star Trek comic fan, but pretty cool Raza on this one. Just saying. We do have some incentives that we can talk about, starting off with Godzilla has a 1 in 25. There's also a 1 in 10 on this series, but this is a Tradmore Godzilla War for Humanity number 3. I tried to look for a price on this one, but there are none listed and none sold, so who knows? This could be a toughie if people are interested in finding those weird, ratio Godzilla type variants out of IDW. I like these types of things. I don't like paying ratio prices though, and that's kind of where they start when you go buying from like retailers. So I'll look for this for cheap down the line. Like I said, IDW, I love the 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, and then you start talking about $20-$25, and I don't want to do that. I'm down for $10. 20-25, well, I pause. That said, there is a 1 in 25 that's kind of cool on a Uncanny Avengers. I think it's issue 4 or 5. Can't remember the number. But this is Stephanie Hans. Pretty cool. You see the lineup. Kind of dig the layout. Not selling for a premium as of yet, but who knows? Maybe it'll catch on. Darth Vader, issue 40, also, or is this 41? I'm sorry. Issue 41, I believe, has this pretty cool purpley droid eating Vader helmet, Bjorn Barron's cover. Kind of dig it. Doing all right so far. Not a huge huge premium just yet. I mean, one copy did sell for 15, and then another couple copies sold for like 35. So it's worth noting. Asking prices 33, 38, 56. See where this one kind of falls. On the rare occasions, some of these Star Wars incentives do hit, many do not. We'll see if this one hits or if it just kind of falls back to that ratio kind of mark and less as the week goes on. But that is to be determined as this week rolls on. Much like what's going to happen with Star Wars High Republic. Issue 2, I believe we're at now, where they're obviously going to do what they have been doing and giving us a virgin version and a 1 in 100. Yeah, fine. No copies sold as of yet. 2 copies listed. One looking for just ratio, about $100, and another one looking for $250. So hard to tell where this one's going to kind of fall regarding demand and price. Just 1 in 100s are just so tough because the buy-in again. It's a minute. It's like usually a ratio. It's like $100 already. Like not many people want to do that. Especially when you have to commit to something like this. Which, if you were not aware, even though we're not doing the segment, this is a connecting cover set. There are B covers of these, as you saw with the trade dress. So there are a trade dress connecting cover set, but the 1 in 100s will connect as well. We already had issue 1. This is issue 2. Here's a previous issue 3. There will also be an issue 4, but we don't have the art for it yet. I don't know how far out it goes. It might go out to 5. Not sure, but we do know it will at least be these 3. Like I said, I haven't seen the cover art for issue 4's 1 in 100 as of yet, but it might tack on, after this one. We'll follow it, but here you go. 1, 2's this week. 3 will be coming soon, and yeah. With that said, let's shift on over to the Cheesecake covers. I know you guys like this part. You like this segment, and I do too. I like these covers. Pretty cool. Horror beach off. Looks like a Lady Death mixed with La Muerta, Lady Mechanica, or whatever the heck. I don't know. It kind of jumps out at you a little bit, so I thought it was kind of cool. Just one shot. There's also a pretty cool Red Light to Call cover here. I mean, it's pretty risque there. If you look past the mannequins, there on the right, looks even getting a little peekage there. Grimm Fairy Tales and Zenoscope. They're always giving us the Cheesecake cover. So here, this one's not terribly cheesecakey. This is Grimm Fairy Tales presents Bell Annual Apex Predator #1. I don't know. They do all these weird specials, and I don't even know what these titles are, or what these characters are supposed to be. But while this one's not that cheesecakey, I did notice there was another cover here. This B, and then this follow up. I don't know if it's C or D. Those two weren't bad, so put those in here as well, along with this Hydra book that they're coming out with. All right. I mean, this one, it's all right. It's, again, maybe borderline. It's a little bit more on the monster side, sci-fi thing here, but this B cover here definitely qualifies. And, well, maybe this C cover here as well. But that one in the middle, pretty sweet. Almost has like a Linzer meets Bruce Timm kind of vibe to me. But I don't know. Kind of dig it. That said, only one title of Vampirella coming out this week out of Dynamite, so we do not have like the Sheenas and the other ones, and no Perillo. But we do have a Jay Lee here, I believe. And was that Jay? Yeah, I think it's Jay. Yeah. We are getting a Linzer on the B cover here, and I forget who's doing the other cover there. But again, multiple copies of Vampirella to hit that cheesecake mark for you. If that's what you're looking for. Harley, black, white, and redder is giving us a couple of options. We got Frizen doing a pretty awesome cover A here. We got a fun Tedesco, and then I think we have another Lyrics Lee, I believe, on the other, the third. No incentive this time out, which I was surprised. I was looking forward to seeing what the incentive would be on this one, but they apparently decided to just go ABC, no incentive on this title. Because I don't know, if that Frizen was an incentive book, that would probably be one of the books of the week that people would be hunting. But they can get this for cover if they like it. And that's probably what I'm going to do, because I do like it, and I'm probably going to go and get it. And I'm kind of glad that it's a cover. But one that's not a cover, going back to that Superman #9 I talked about, we are getting this cover here. Nathan Zerdy giving us a, drawing a blank on her name. It's not Scream. The Silver Banshee. Silver Banshee. Pretty cool cover here on issue 9 of Superman. So, something to keep an eye on. I'm not doing anything crazy yet, but some of these Zerdy covers have hit of late. So ratio, $25, and early pre-sale in November hit 60. I don't know why, but current asking prices, yes, there are copies near ratio at about 25. Then there are other copies in that $35 to $45 range. So we'll see where this kind of shakes out. Once again, as this hits on Tuesday, but it is one worth to watch because, like I said, looks like a solid cover to me, and I don't know how available it will be once you guys all hit the shops this week. But let's wrap it up with Happy Holidays section. I know I told you I forgot the homage section, but I think I only had like a handful of books that were in there anyway that I'm just kind of glossing over. Nothing like too crazy. I think like there was a Uncanny Avengers that looked like a Young Avengers 1, and then there was a that God's book that Hickman's following up on is giving us looks like one of those Cosmic Powers Silver Surfer type books from back in the day. Then there's a really loose maybe I should have done the segment, but there's a really loose homage to Uncanny 268 with Cap, Black Widow, and Wolverine. That I don't know, it's like Spider-Boy and Spider-Man and Cap. I don't know, it's not really that, and it's on Spider-Boy #2. I don't think it's that great of a homage. I think it's kind of loose, a loose one, different angle and all that stuff. But anyway, we'll just have to skip that for this week and deal with our Christmas covers. So with that said, we'll start off with issue 3 of our Batman Santa Claus Silent Night series. We got a sleigh. We got the Hawk Girl there and Wonder Woman in the background. Not too bad. I do like the canary with the Santa cover here on the cover B. And then there's a 1 in 25 that has, I don't know if that's Krampus or what, but Soups is about to get hacked up, even though he's Superman, so it probably will not hurt him. But it's a 1 in 25 if you're still into this Silent Night storyline. I more prefer these homage covers that are on some of the other titles that they've been doing, like this one here on Superman issue 9. You're getting an Action Comics 1 with Santa in the sleigh instead of Soups in the car. You got an elf running like all crazy. I think it's kind of fun. I wouldn't mind grabbing this one if I see it at the shop. And Wonder Woman has a pretty solid Villalobos doing a Wonder Woman 1 homage here. But you got to include Santa and the reindeer. She's got the lasso. It's pretty sweet. Kind of like it. So keep an eye out for this one as well. And that'll take us to our Marvel Ski Chalet covers. We are getting another 3 this week. These are just like B variants, and then they have incentive virgin versions at 1 in 100. Starting off with, like I said, Spider-Boy #2. Thought about putting like this in the Buzz section. I don't know. Does anybody still care? Anybody still care about Spider-Boy? Is this going to do well? I don't know. I'm already kind of over it. Wasn't terribly interested to begin with, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. It's just the title now. So Spider-Boy issue 2, you got him snowboarding here on this Ski Chalet cover. And then there's a 1 in 100 virgin version, which is actually not really selling right now. So I think it's a ratio or less than ratio. So nothing to report on this one. However, the other 2 for this week are kind of interesting, so keep an eye on them. Starting off with the kind of forgotten one. You got Doctor Strange #10. You got Clea, Villalobos, so it's a Lobos cover. She's in like a hot tub there at the Ski Chalet. Pretty fun little snowman with the Doctor Strange cape in the background. I say pay attention because this could be one of those ignored ones because I don't know how many people are ordering 100 copies of Doctor Strange #10. So to qualify for this 1 in 100 may not be as easy as, say, Spider-Boy issue 2 with all the Spider-Boy hype. That's what I'm getting at. So there was a pre-sale of this book for a solid $133 just on the 15th, a couple days ago. They're an unlisted right now. So this could be a tough one to grab. Just saying. I'm just doing a common sense kind of check on it. Like you're thinking about it. Like there's not going to be as many people ordering Doctor Strange 10 as there are Spider-Boy 2. So there's probably not going to be as many of this 1 in 100 if you really wanted that kind of thing. Not saying you have to, but it's there. It's an option. Much like this next book will also probably have plenty of copies, and this is Amazing Spider-Man #40, because not only is it Amazing Spider-Man, it is a J. Scott Campbell cover that everybody's known about for months now. Here, you can get the regular cover version, obviously. Probably plenty of copies ordered, so they can sell these out as well. Probably not for a premium or anything, but they'll sell these C covers or whatever, version variant this is. But the 1 in 100 even on this Amazing Spider-Man 40 will probably be plentiful, especially when you consider all the places that are already doing kind of like standalone continuous Spider-Man, exclusives. So you got all those stores and artists doing exclusives on Amazing Spider-Man, like every issue. So they're going to have a bunch of these as well. But the Doctor Strange, maybe not so much. So I don't know. That's why I'm kind of curious what Doc Strange 10 will do. But with this one, as I said, it's been known for a while, but and there's a lot of J. Scott Campbell fans, including myself. Also means this is already selling at a premium. As you can see, early pre-sales for $150, $200. Asking prices in that same kind of range, 133 up to 200 bucks. Will that maintain? Maybe. I got to imagine this will still probably stay above ratio, at least in that 130 to 150 range for most of the week, because again, it's a Campbell. So there's going to be, I think, enough interest to kind of keep this one above that ratio mark. That's my guess. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, and I'm definitely not buying in at either of those prices because it's too rich for my blood. It's not what I like to invest in. My regular weekly comic budget does not allow for books like this to be bought on the regular, let alone when you have 3 different options coming out this week. And if I had to make a guess and I was to take a shot, like I said, I'd probably take a shot on the Doctor Strange because I also do like Villa Lobos, and I think that one might be tough down the line. But we'll see what happens. So once again, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully you found that interesting. Thanks for stopping by and for all the support here you give me on the channel. I do really appreciate it. Again, the next couple of weeks might be a little shaky with the holidays here, so try to keep the content flowing, but we will have stuff basically hitting every day. And if I miss a day here or there with my personal stuff, my dollar bin diggings and the Tuesday shows, my little personal recording shows that I do solo, gonna try to keep them up as best I can. But like I said, it's the holidays. Once we get into 2024, I'll have everything back together and back to normal. But for now, just bear with me a few more weeks. I still got plenty of fun stuff coming your way, and we might try to do another trade secrets. So getting back to those trade paperbacks maybe for tomorrow, because that should be an easy one to kick out for you guys. So that's what you could probably expect on Tuesday. Wednesday, we might have a special guest joining us on the tax show. Not sure yet, but possible. I know we still got to get into our giveaway for hitting 3K. I mean, we're well above 3K now, but still got to get our giveaway out there for you guys. So we'll maybe get that done this week on the tax show. And then I'll try to get dollar bin digging on Thursday, the CBSI Hot 10 list on Friday. Get off my lawn following that immediately live on the channel on Friday night. Then SNS on Saturday, Tales from the Dark Side on Sunday. And then we'll keep it going. Start the week anew, even though that will be Christmas. So might take a pause for Christmas. We'll see. We'll see. If I can get something done before then, I'll save it for you guys. But if not, enjoy your Christmas, and I will see you all later. All right.